helm of the women's basketball program and brings back 2 starters from last year's group. The Shockers went 5-13 in conference last year. They also graduate their leading scorer, Daniela Abies, but sophomore guard Celeste Blow is looking forward to filling in that hole after an impressive freshman season. Coach, what are you looking forward to in year 2 at Wichita State?
I mean, I'm just excited. We have 9 new players this year. We're going to try to play a different, more up-tempo brand of basketball this season. And so we're just excited about the new players and then the old people that we have coming back.
Now, you said fast. Now I'm hearing, like, chasing after the basketball all the time. I mean, you're really trying to shock the system, so to speak, when you're out there.
Yes.
What does that look like when you're telling your players, hey, this is what we do?
I mean, I think most players, if you ask them how they want to play, they always say they want to play fast. They don't really understand that playing fast means running is involved. So we do a lot of running and stuff to make sure we're going to be in the proper amount of shape so we can play the style of play that we want to play. We just want to be gritty and tough and play hard.
Yeah, so Lisa and Taylor, that has to fit right into your vocabulary right there. What do you like about playing fast? Lisa, I'll start with you.
I would say just being able to catch people off guard, you know, like being all up in people like full court, and then just like creating turnovers and just scoring quickly, not having to set up a play every time.
Yeah, I would definitely just say the momentum, being able to control the momentum of the game a lot more often. That comes with playing fast. So that's just something that I particularly like.
You guys were able to at least put that to the test with the trip to the Virgin
Yes.
Islands. Coach, how did that come together, and what was that trip like for your team?
It was a trip that our athletic director, Kevin Saul, got planned for us last summer. We knew we were going to have a new team, and we wanted to try to make sure we got a head start on things. And with 9 new players, it was really great for us to be able to bond as a group, to be able to play a couple games. We swam with dolphins, and we did a lot of fun stuff. But we also did a great job on the court. We had to play a real good team from Canada who was well coached and really kind of pushed us. So I think it was a great experience for us.
Oh, you guys have been showing up there, and also pretty early, right? 6 a.m.
Yeah,
workouts?
we have we do a boot camp the week before the season starts at 6 o'clock in the morning every day, and that's just a bunch of conditioning and drills and defensive stations and that kind of stuff, just to kind of get us prepped for our first practices of the season.
How did you get the players to buy in? I mean, they're saying it's like a daily vitamin, right? I mean, how do you create like the excitement around that?
I mean, I think, like I said, most players, they want to have a lot more freedom in their hands. I try to give them more freedom, especially if they're getting stops and creating turnovers. So as long as they know that they go get their credit or their prize at the end of it is the way they get to play, and that kind of takes a little bit of leash off of me if they do what they're supposed to do defensively.
How did you guys respond to those 6 a.m. workouts, and have you at least reaped the benefits a little bit? I know it's a hard pill to swallow to establish that wake-up schedule, but what have you seen maybe the improvements from that grind of getting up that early in the morning?
Just like our overall toughness, like waking up at 6 a.m. I mean, we wanted to be a choice, but it wasn't. So like,
I believe it.
So like, it taught us, you know, to be mentally tough. Just to know that we only there for like, you know, an hour, just an hour of hard work, an hour of being dedicated to, you know, pushing ourselves, and that's what it takes for us to win a championship.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just curious. You said it's only an hour, Coach. When you established that early morning workout, why just keep it an hour?
I mean, I think it's like I didn't want to kill anybody. So we tried to. They think I did, but I really didn't.
Taylor's face.
They would probably compare it to that, but it was just more about them coming together, the discipline of being able to wake up in the morning and making sure you do what you're supposed to do. So you got to make sure you go to bed early at night. You got to make sure you wake up and get breakfast, and you got to make sure you come into it with the mindset of that I want to challenge and I want to dominate the day. And if you can get used to that mindset, it's gonna help us when we play real tough games in our conference, especially.
I love that, because one of the challenges you can be great in high school, right? But to be great in college is a different story, especially D1.
Yep.
You have to develop a love for discipline.
Yes.
Taylor, what that journey been like for you to learn to embrace that? And then how have you seen it be to your benefit?
Yeah, it was definitely a journey. When I was younger, I was somewhat kind of like Bobo. You know, I had to mature, try to understand that the game is it's a marathon, not a race. So, you know, like your development can happen over a short span of time, and just challenging myself every single day to become not only a better player, but a better person is what really guided my journey throughout college.
Coach, you look like you wanted to say something after her real quick.
Oh no, I was looking at the video and seeing some of the defensive
He's just
drills that
taking
we
it
were.
all in. He's like,
Yeah, I was like, man,
Taking notes.
that looks fun. No, that looks fun. I was just watching some of the drills and stuff they had on the TV. So
Speaking of practice in this summer, when you do bring back 5 returners, you also bring in a ton of new faces.
Yes.
Who's impressed you and maybe surprised you this summer?
I mean, I would say Taylor would be one. And she's a great player on the court, but I think off the court she's one of our gym rats. She's in the morning, like she complained about the boot camp, but on her own she's doing her own individual workouts at 7 a.m. in the morning every single day. So she's working out individually, and then she's shooting at the practice. And Celeste, I've drove by the gym at random nights and Sundays or weekends, and I see them in the gym getting shots on their own. So I think those things are the things that we want to have as our foundation of our program.
Defense is going to be a big part of your identity. Yes. Why is it a win to force another team to call a timeout? What does that feel like?
I think just for us, it's a momentum thing, and we know defense is going to be tough, and I feel like it just gives us an advantage if we know we're making the team do something that they don't want to practice or they don't want to do every single day.
It seems like it's really what's being built right now at Wichita State for this women's basketball program is just a really tough mentality,
yes,
and something that I imagine you want to carry on to the postseason. Is that the message right now this early on? Yeah,
well, I think, in our league, you have to be tough in order to compete with all these great coaches and the great teams that we have in our league. I think if you talk about the DNA of Wichita as a city, it's tough, it's gritty, it's bunch of people who have a bunch of a chip on their shoulder and want to prove people wrong. So I think that's what we want that to be the foundation and the DNA of our women's basketball program.
And for you guys, you always hear that slogan, right? It takes what it takes. You seem like the type of players that understand that. Getting up in the morning, not just at practice, but you're going out on your own. Why have that drive this early on?
Because practice is, just not enough. Like, we do a lot of team stuff in practice, but you also have to develop yourself individually, and that's what those early mornings and late nights take. You're working on your ball handling, you're working on your speed, you're working on getting in shape, you're working on your shooting. So that's what a lot of those late nights take that sometimes won't be accounted for in practice.
And Taylor, for you, you just got high praise from your coach. What are some of the things that you wanted to focus on and hone in on this summer?
With this being my last collegiate year of eligibility, I just really wanted to push myself to become the best version of myself as a person and a player. And the best of the best in the game, LeBron James, they still have things they could get better at. They still have things that they work on every single day. And at the end of the day, it's a mindset. So my mindset is I'm not just competing against or with my teammates. We're not just competing against the American, but the ultimate goal is to make it to the big dance. So we have to do the things that they do every single day in order to last in those type of competitions down the road.
Love to hear it. Hard work wins. Best
Looking forward to
season 2. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we flip it over